welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be working on our Winter Wonderland White Christmas tree. And I happened to find these trees, and I did a video with a smaller one with the pine cones, and I found this guy, and to me he just wasn't the holiday spirit. He just was really lacking. So we're going to dress him up and just give him a little bit more sparkle. I'm going to be using smaller pine cones, and another thing, if you can't find pine cones, there's lots of things that you can decorate this with. You can do the tree with just all bulbs all the way up, just using this as your form. Or I also found some magnolia, the seeds or the middle of the magnolia flower as well. So don't get stuck in thinking that you can only use pine cones. You could use little flowers to add to it, a bunch of different things. But I'm going to start with my little pine cones, and I'm going to be adding snow to them today. Now I've melted my Crayola crayon, and this is one time where we're going to be a little bit more messy. And I'm using my stipple brush, and this is a very stiff brush. We do carry these are just for the wax technique. If you're not using this, I would suggest a very stiff brush and one that you're not going to be planning on using again, because we're going to get pretty rough with it by the time we get done, and it's going to make quite a bit of a mess. So, and don't worry about keeping it just in the well today. The Crayola crayon, where we can melt it in there, but we can get it onto that second layer. And the snow is just the Crayola crayon melted, and we're just going to put that right on. And the more wax or snow you want, the more wax you're going to load, and just put that all over your pine cone. And it is going to take quite a few crayons, probably 2 to 3 for this project. So don't be surprised that you have to stop and fill your well up. But it goes really quick, and you can see how wonderful this looks as snow. And we'll do one more for you here. And I have bigger to little ones on this tree. You don't really quite need the small ones on top like we did our other ones. And instead of trying to cover the whole thing, on this guy, I just came in and put it here and there. I started by looking where my bare spots were. I'm still going to use my bigger ones on the bottom, but there's enough wire in the garland, and it's thick enough. I don't need to add any more wire. And I'm just going to glue these straight on the tree. And my first go around, I think I had about 7. So you're going to kind of space them out and just put them right on to the tree. Now I do have it at low setting, and you want to kind of hold it or push it in till it dries a little bit. And then we're going to add another one. And just keep on working our way around. Now the next layer, of course, would be kind of in between these guys. So we're going to kind of put it there. Now they're not all going to end up even, because your tree is getting smaller as it goes. Some of them may be in line a little bit more, but always kind of start them in between if you can. And just keep on going as you start working towards the top of your tree. And then I really thought it still needed something a little bit more. So what I came and did is I found some, good noise there, some garland, and this was at the Dollar Tree, a little roll, and there's quite a bit on here. And I just snipped these little pieces off just like that to give it some green. Kind of pull up and pull down when you're doing this. And we're going to snip those off. And that came back, and you only want to try and get the center. Try not to get the glue gun on your little needles or whatever you would call them. And we're going to glue those in between. And then I found a berry pick, which had berries on it. And we're going to glue that right over the green part. If you have any part that's white on the berries, stick those in until you start to, so those don't show. And then we're just going to go ahead and do the remainder of the tree all the way up. And on top, you can either do some more berries with a pine cone, and you can see these guys are a little bit smaller up here. Or you can put a little bit of a topper on your tree, and I found a little silver topper, which I thought would be really cute. We're going to top our tree after you're finished with all of that with a bow. Now, a bow I also purchased at the Dollar Tree, and you really want a color that brings out the design or pattern of your tree. And we want to give it long, I'm going to kind of measure here, long tails so that you can put them into the tree. I'm going to get my wire cut before I need it. I'm not going to be able to grab it here to tie my bow with. So we've got his long tails. Now this is 3 feet. You can usually tie a nice bow with 3 feet and with 5 loops on each side, but since we're giving it a little bit bigger tail, we're only going to be able to get 4 loops in here. Trying to measure up to my other one a little bit here. And then when I do this other loop, I want to make sure that these are the same size. I do have a video on how to tie a bow. I'll walk you through a little bit slower than what we're actually doing today. But I really like this red swirl design. I think it's really pretty. And it's so wonderful. I mean, most of the time you only need about 3 feet of one color when you can pick it up at some place like the Dollar Tree. I go in, and when they come, the ribbons come out, I load my little cart full of all kinds of different little ribbons. Get rid of my little... So we've got 4 here. Normally we would do 5 on each side, each loop, but like I said, we want to keep these tails a little bit longer today. So we're just going to tie our bow. I stick it through the middle of my fingers. And we're going to tie that. Fluff that all out. And kind of find an empty spot where you've kind of glued your stuff together. It may need a little bit more. We're going to kind of bring it a little bit on the side. And I've got those wires long enough. I'm going to wire them straight through. You could also glue it and just find it from the inside. It's easier said than done. This has been one of my favorite projects this holiday season. And then just fluff that up nice and neat. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it in 2 spots with the hot glue. And I'm just going to stick these in right now so I'm not taking up too much of your time. We're going to glue that in 2 spots on both of these, and after I have glued those, I'm going to come in with some bulbs and just cover over the tops of those. Another thing, instead of just gluing those, I also will add a little bit of wire and push it down there, and then you can just stick your bulb on top of that and it'll glue right in. So we end up with it looking like this little guy with his ribbon all nice and done. And it's a really fun centerpiece for a party or something like that. I'm going to take mine to church and use them for church on Christmas Eve to kind of put on the stairs to the stage. So have fun with it. Don't get caught in my ideas. This is just to help you build on yours. If you have any questions about this project, please email me at art@miriamjoy.com. For any of the wax that we may have used today, please visit my website at miriamjoy.com. There's also a YouTube link that takes you over to more of these fun YouTube videos, as well as a Facebook link where we try to post something up every day to encourage you, as well as fun contests during the holidays. Thank you, Merry Christmas, and God bless.